Hello. If you're injured and you're looking for the fastest way to recover safely and get back to doing what you love as fast as possible, then you've come to the right place. Hello, I'm Dr. Lin with Empowerment Physical Therapy. Today, I want to talk to you about the 3 things that you need to do and that you need to know to accelerate your recovery. And some of the things that top athletes use and that you don't know about. First and foremost, self-care. That's the first thing you need to do. In physical therapy, you sometimes might hear it as home exercise programs that your therapist might prescribe to you. For us, we call it more of a self-care stuff. And the intention of that self-care is to keep your window of improvement open. And here's what I mean by that. So in the case of if you go to physical therapy and after the session, hopefully you'll feel better afterward, because that's the goal. And if you're not feeling better, then that's a whole different conversation, because otherwise, why do you go? Anyhow, so assuming that you feel better after the session, we've now opened your window of improvement. Now that window narrows the moment you step outside of the clinic, because you're back to doing the things that you used to doing. And that closes that window. In order to keep that window open, and this is something we tell a lot of our patients in between our sessions, is to replicate some of the things that they do in the clinic at home on the days that they're not coming to us, so that they can keep that window of improvement open. The next question that we get all the time from our current and past patient is, hey, Dr. Lin, do I need to do all of it? All of the exercises in the clinic at home? Or can I do some of it? You can either choose to do all of it if you have the time, or if you don't, you could do some of the ones that give you the most bang for your buck. So in the case of, let's say if you were coming twice a week, on the days that you're not here, let's say you were coming Monday and Wednesday. So on Friday, I would try to replicate some of the things you did in the clinic at home, so that when you come back on Monday, that window hasn't closed. Because if it did, when you come back in the clinic, then you would have to replicate that to keep it open. But if you kept that window open and did some of the self-care stuff at home, that window would stay open, so that the next time you come in, we can then capitalize on that window. And the beauty of the ability to capitalize on that window is now you can embed strengthening into there to get you stronger. So that window stays open for that much longer. So now, when you get strong, that window doesn't close as fast as it did when you first started. So that's the beauty, and that's the importance of the self-care stuff that you do at home. Think about the reason why some of the top athletes are able to get back to feel faster than they should, because they would, aside from all the medical facilities and the coaches that they have to do the work. They have to put in the work. They have to go to a rehab room sometimes 2 to 3 times a day so that they can get back into that rhythm and keep that window of improvement open. Secondly, the second thing that you need to know about accelerating your recovery after an injury is to avoid the things that would make it worse. We call it addition by subtraction. It's a principle that we've learned. So in the case of someone who is going through a total knee replacement and they happen to be a smoker, so in that case, by not smoking, they are actually helping the recovery thereafter. So the principle addition by subtraction, we mean by not doing something that would harm your body, you're actually helping. So a while back, I had an opportunity to see a firefighter who was experiencing groin pain, and he was in his early 20s, pretty healthy guy, and he thought it was a tumor. And he had an X-ray. The X-ray came out negative, so he's a little bit confused of why he's hurting if it's not a tumor. So I said, hey, why don't you come in? Let me take a look at it and see if this is something we can help. 5 minutes into the evaluation, and I knew why his groin was hurting. And I simply asked him, hey, do you sit with your wallet in the back of your pocket? And he says, yeah, I do it all the time. I said, I'm not 100% accurate, but I believe this might be the cause of the issue. Could you remove that wallet and come back next week? He said, sure. Can I put it on the other side to even it up? Which I thought that at that time, but that was a great idea, you know. It's not a bad way to kind of even things up because it's a habit he's built over the years. Anyhow, I asked him if he would want to get rid of his groin pain as fast as possible. And he said he said yes. So I said, let's experiment for a week and see what happens. So he comes back a week thereafter, significant reduction in pain. He was mind blown by the fact that his groin pain had significantly reduced because of the fact that he didn't do this thing and just simply remove the wallet from his back pocket when he sits down, because that throws everything off. In the case of ladies, it's the handbags. It's the handbags that they hold, and there's quite a bit of weight. Ladies have their life in that bag. I've seen ladies who've got life, whose bags weigh about 30 to 35 pounds, and they're holding it. And they're used to holding it on one side. It's really weird for them to move it to the other side once you get used to carrying your bag on one side. And we get that. So over time, that would cause an imbalance in your system if you carry your bag on one side only. And that's where a lot of the shoulder pain, neck pain would come in. So addition by subtraction. The third thing that you need to do when you're trying to recover as fast as you can and safely. And safely is what we encourage with a lot of our patients. Because you could do it fast, but if you don't do it safely, you'll kind of backtrack and have what we call sort of you're doing it too much too fast. That can actually harm you. is to avoid an inflammatory diet. What do I mean by that? Is to avoid any sort of canned foods that has a lot of salt, or eating fast food. If you're someone who goes out and eat fast food, who gets takeouts pretty frequently, fast food restaurants, canned foods are highly processed foods, and they don't help with the healing process. They actually slow down your healing process. So by avoiding these things, it actually will help accelerate your recovery. One of the things you might want to consider is whole foods. Foods that actually kind of decompose or rotten. Foods that last longer than they should aren't good for you in the long run. And neither is it for your recovery. So there you have it. Those are the 3 things that you should consider and need to do and know if you want to accelerate your recovery.